Hi everyone, I am constantly reviewing and recommending different products for you all to go out and buy on this channel on a weekly basis, and yet, as a qualified esthetician and beauty therapist here in the UK, I thought it was about time that I do a video all about those products that I definitely do not recommend that you put anywhere near your skin, or at least some of these products are only good for a handful of people and they're not great for the masses. So we're going to get straight on with it today. If you're new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload new content on YouTube every single week. I would love it if you are finding this video helpful at any point. Please click on that like button and consider coming and joining the Pampered Wolf Pack by clicking on the subscribe button and the notification bell. So we are going to get straight on with it today, no messing around. There may be some noise in the background. Ralph is busily chewing on his new toy as we speak, and it has a squeaker in it. I know, not my finest hour. I have no idea why I thought it was a good idea to buy him it when we were in the pet shop the other day. Anyway, it is what it is. He's got it now. I'm not going to take it off him. We're going to go into the first product that I definitely wouldn't recommend. Really, Ralph? What are you doing? So product number one that I would definitely avoid are abrasive facial scrubs. And I'm not mentioning all facial scrubs. There are some amazing, really gentle facial scrubs out on the market, and I will recommend a couple at the end of this section. However, abrasive facial scrubs, and I'm talking about those that have crushed natural ingredients in, some apricot kernels that are crushed, things like that. Some of those things can be as sharp as knives. If you stood on them with a naked foot, it would hurt. You do not want to be rubbing those things around your face. So the main culprit here, and I'm not just picking on this one product, there are a lot of them that have similar ingredients. The Scent Ive scrub, no. I actually have a scar around my nose. Which side is it on? I think it's on this side. There's a little hole in my nose which was caused by the Scent Ive scrub because I got myself into a little bit of a state when I was a teenager. There was very little on the market at that point as a facial scrub, and I had a lot of blemishes that I wanted to get rid of, and I used it so harshly. I scarred my face. I have a hole in my face from an abrasive facial scrub. So I implore you, if you do have one in the cupboard, throw it away and get yourself a really gentle facial scrub or an acid toner of some sort. Now, there are so many on the market that are amazing for all budgets. So the facial scrubs that I would definitely recommend, we have the Rice Polish Original from Tatcha. Also, if you're wanting something even more gentle, the Tatcha Deep Cleanse as a cleanser has a few particles in there that also will aid exfoliation on the skin as well. We've also got the Medicate Pore Refining Scrub. It is such a beautiful scrub for the face and much more gentle than some of the alternatives that are out on the market. If you're wanting something without any exfoliating particles in there, but one that will do the job to the best of its ability, a great acid toner would be the Medicate Press and Glow. It's a PHA toner, so it's not aggressive in the slightest. It will really exfoliate the outer dead skin cells right on the surface of the skin. The molecules of a PHA are quite large, so they don't penetrate the skin really deeply, so a PHA is really quite gentle on the skin. It's also really good at hydrating the skin as well. Another alternative, however, which is slightly more aggressive, so this isn't going to be for everybody, but if you're wanting something to get a little bit deeper into the skin, then the Ordinary's Glycolic Acid 7% toner is always a great one to go for. You can also use that on the body as well, and you get so much product in the tub that it's an absolute steal. I have a real problem with the companies that release those really aggressive facial scrubs that I spoke about right at the beginning of this segment. I just think that they target really vulnerable people who already have problematic skin and will do absolutely anything to clear it up. And because of that, they are also overly aggressive with the finger movements and the amount of pressure that they're applying to the skin in order to clear their skin problems up. And it just has a very, very negative effect effect. You can create trauma on the skin, which can actually lead to infection and, in my case, scarring as well. So definitely one to avoid. Another product that you will never hear me recommending on this channel, and believe me, the amount of times that I have been approached by companies offering me the absolute world to promote these things on my channel, if I had £1 for every single time, I would be, well, I'd have paid my mortgage off, let's put it that way. Anyway, the answer has always been no, in the kindest possible way. Cleansing brushes. Electronic cleansing brushes, you don't need them. You please, 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 you do not need an electronic facial cleansing brush. You have a pair of these, use them. It's not necessary to use a spinning facial brush. In fact, it's not necessary to use a facial brush of any kind to do your cleansing. It is so easy to over exfoliate your skin, especially for those people that are using this twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. I mean, you can do a magnitude of damage just by using one of these once a day, let alone twice. So you don't want to over exfoliate the skin. That outer portion of the skin is there to do its protection. It's a great barrier. It's there to keep the good things in and keep the nasty stuff out. And if you over exfoliate, you're just setting yourself up for one, irritation, redness, and then also some sort of inflammation and possibly infection as well. So definitely would not recommend them. You can buy some superb cleansers on the market that are super gentle but very, very effective with the use of just your fingertips. So yes, definitely wouldn't recommend any sort of cleansing facial brushes. Product number 3 that I would definitely not recommend, and this is self-explanatory. I mean, if you've followed me for quite some time, you will know what a bugbear I have with these products, and my daughter knows it in spades. She doesn't really like me at the moment because I stopped her from using these. She sneaked some in the house she bought from Primark the other day, and I was like, no, 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 no. They are going nowhere near your skin, young lady. And yeah, I'm not a favorite person right now. Facial wipes. We're talking about facial wipes. I do not like them. They are no good for you unless you are in a tent where you have no access to running water. I do not recommend facial wipes of any kind. And if you are in a tent with no running water, maybe take a milk cleanser and some cotton rounds with you, because they are 10 times better than a facial wipe. Not only are these facial wipes non-biodegradable, so they are awful for the environment, but they also harbour bacteria within the packet, and they also leave a film on the surface of the skin which can heavily block your pores and give you skin congestion, blemishes, acne, you name it. Ugh. Awful, 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 awful. Facial wipes also a lot of the time contain a really high level of alcohol within the formula. So if you are worried about the hydration in your skin or dehydration, if you want plump, healthy looking, really firm and supple skin, you want to get those face wipes as far away from your face as physically possible. Fourth product I would definitely not recommend. I'm talking about cleansers that include SLS. And SLS is a huge, huge no for me. SLS, or sodium lauryl sulfate, is a surfactant. Now, they've come on leaps and bounds with surfactants recently, and in fact in the last 20 years. It's not necessary to use a harsh surfactant. Surfactants loosen off the grime, the debris, they emulsify the oils to allow all the grime and all the excess oils to be washed away from the surface of the skin. So they really aid that cleansing process. However, there are gentler forms of surfactant, some amazing surfactants that are incredibly gentle on the skin, but also some really irritating and aggravating SLSs that are really stripping and drying on the skin as well. And SLS is one of those that you want to stay away from. Back in the early 90s, when I was having loads of problems with my skin as a teenager, blackheads, blemishes, just spots in general all over the place, the only place to turn in the 90s was to brands like Clearasil, and also Neutrogena, I think, had a blackhead removing facial cleanser. And those brands at the time, and I'm not quite sure if they still do now, but at the time, before we'd made loads of leaps and bounds with surfactants in general, they were full of SLS. And SLS is so stripping and dehydrating that it made your skin feel really tight, just really squeaky, and it just felt really quite strange. But that's what we were told our skin should feel like, and that is so not the case. Your skin does not need to feel like that anymore. There are surfactants on the market that are super gentle, incredibly effective at cleansing the skin, but in a gentle way. Moving on to the next product that I definitely wouldn't recommend. This one is another product that I've had to prize out of Beatrice's clenched fist after she's been on a shopping expedition with her friends, bought loads of stuff, wanted to show me when she's got home everything that she's bought, and the fun police swoops in, takes a few items out and says, no, they're no good for you, you're not using those. And the look on her face is like... I'm talking about pore strips and peeling masks. Now, these may look effective when you peel it off, if you're using it on your nose to get rid of sebum plugs and blackheads. Sometimes it looks like it's really doing an effective job, but along with pulling out some of those sebum plugs and blackheads, it can rip the skin barrier, opening you up to a lot of scarring, infection, inflammation, irritation. They're just not great. Now, you can easily get rid of sebum plugs and diminish blackheads by using a BHA toner. The one that I recommend is from Paula's Choice and is the BHA liquid exfoliant. It is amazing at really getting deep into the pore. It's oil-based, so it can penetrate right into the pore, mingle in with your natural oils, loosen off any debris and dirt, and allow the blackhead to be released naturally, very, very easily, and to stop other blackheads and sebum plugs from forming in the skin, so your skin naturally will clear up. Now, there are two different sizes from the Paula's Choice BHA liquid exfoliant. There's a miniature version, which I would recommend if you're just dipping your toe in and you don't know if you're going to like it, or if you're only going to spot treat different areas. BHA is absolutely amazing and is otherwise known as salicylic acid. It is great for spot-prone skin, so you can apply it just on the spot zone, or if you want an exfoliant all over the skin, not around that delicate eye area, please don't apply it there. You can apply it all over using a cotton round, and it's extremely effective. You don't need to use this every day. I do know some people with seriously oily skin that can use it every day, but if you're only a little bit spot prone and you don't have massively oily skin, 2 to 3 times a week should be enough. Or just spot treat those areas. Have any of you ever used a facial peeling mask before? I would love to hear from you in the comments section. I bet there are some comical stories to be told. I used one probably around about 3 years ago now as an experiment. I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I'd used pore strips in the past when I was young and didn't know better. And I just thought, you know what, let's see. Let's see if they are any gentler than a pore strip. Turns out they are rough. Brutal, I think, is the word that I would use. If you have any peach fuzz on your skin, be warned, you are likely to have a wax at the same time that you are trying to pull sebum plugs out of your skin. It is not pretty, and once you've got it all over the skin, there's no turning back. There is no turning back. That is it. You have to then just go for it. Choice words were coming out of my mouth when I was ripping off that peeling mask. Anyway, I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section. Let me know your stories. Painful, very painful. Next product I wouldn't recommend, and actually I am lying. I've actually recommended this particular product on my channel before and then had to do a little bit of a reverse action and backpedal. I used to love this next product, but I think it is problematic. A little bit of information here. Some people are going to love this. Some people, it's going to do damage to your skin because very few people use this product correctly. So I'm just getting that out there straight away. This isn't a bad product, it's just, it comes with its problems. So I'm talking about really high strength acid peels. And I think this is an area that should be kept in clinic. There are some really high strength formulations that if you leave them on too long, which again, if you have problematic skin, it's really easy to leave it on for a little bit too long than is advised. And then you open yourself up to a whole load of bad stuff happening to your skin, irritation, inflammation, and more blemishes because your skin barrier has been broken, so more germs and debris can get in. So yeah, I don't recommend these on my channel anymore. I did use the Ordinaries acid peel on my channel when it first was launched and I loved it, but I realized very, very quickly that every time I used it, I was getting quite a lot of irritation afterwards, maybe days afterwards, and I was using it too frequently. I wasn't using it correctly, i.e. my skin wasn't 100% dry when I applied it, so it was penetrating my skin a little bit too deep, creating a lot of inflammation and irritation on my skin. I was leaving it on for too long, which meant that my skin barrier was compromised because it was over exfoliated. I was using it too frequently. And I think with products that are super, super strong, it's very easy to fall into these traps. And I am a skincare professional and I did it myself. I don't recommend it because I just think there are too many things that can go wrong with this type of product. And I know there's probably a few of you that are shouting at your screen right now saying, I love this and I wouldn't be without it, and that is great. But I do think you do have to have a specific type of skin and also have a lot of willpower and strength to make sure that you 100% follow the guidelines so that you don't have any irritation and bad stuff happen to your skin down the line. For me, there are other alternatives like the exfoliants that we talked about earlier that I think are more gentle and just as good at their job than using a peel that you leave on for 5 minutes and your skin does feel amazing afterwards, but for me it didn't last long. The 7th product that I would never recommend on my channel is raw coconut oil, and raw coconut oil used primarily as a moisturizer. Now, if you use raw coconut oil as a moisturizer currently and you're loving it, I am definitely not saying that you now need to throw that away and buy something different. If you're having great success with it, that is fantastic for you, but you are one of the very few people that's going to be able to get away with using raw coconut oil in that way, because it's not formulated for the skin, it's formulated to eat. So it's not got all of the safety backed ingredients within the formula to make sure that it lasts, to make sure that it doesn't build up with bacteria, and to make sure that it's safe to use and penetrates the skin at differing levels to do that nourishing and hydrating job. So it's just something that I would definitely not recommend. If you have seriously, seriously dry skin, you may be able to get away with it and it may do you some good. But anything other than seriously dry skin, you may find that you get skin congestion, much more blocked pores, blackheads, more blemishes. It's just problematic if you don't have a specific skin type. So I would definitely steer clear from it. There are some amazing moisturizers out on the market if you have seriously dry skin. CeraVe is one of them. Absolutely amazing. My mum swears by it. She's used so many expensive moisturizers in the past that I've personally bought her, and she's always gone back to using CeraVe. There's also the Ordinaries Natural Moisturizing Factors plus Phytoceramides if you're after a serious kick of nourishment nourishment and hydration. That is another one that is absolutely out of this world amazing. So there are other options out there that don't have to cost the earth. You will never hear me recommend raw coconut oil. And the final product that I wouldn't recommend to the masses, and I have recommended this to the odd few, however, this is not going to be suitable for everybody. That is Vaseline or Aquaphor. Now, these are barrier ingredients, so they would sit on the surface of the skin. They don't penetrate the skin. They sit on the surface and block anything from getting in, but also from getting out, which can make it an amazing ingredient to prevent transepidermal water loss, but it can also make it a problematic ingredient if you have oils in the skin that desperately need to get to the surface, because it can create, just like the coconut oil, a lot of skin congestion, a lot of blackheads and more breakouts. Not everybody is going to be able to do this. Now, there was a big thing on social media not that long ago with a technique called slugging, where people would apply their moisturizers, well, any serums, then a moisturizer, and then apply quite a generous layer of Vaseline all over the skin. And quite a few people asked me why I wasn't doing a video on it. It's because I don't agree with generalizing and saying that one thing will suit absolutely everybody, because really it's for the few. And I've seen this done on social media only the other day with an eye cream, where somebody said it was the best thing ever to put your eye cream on and then apply a generous layer of Vaseline over the top to lock it in. And for those of you with seriously dry under eyes, this will be the best technique for you. This will be fantastic because it will stop any of those great ingredients, those great hydrating ingredients, from evaporating from the skin throughout the night. However, if you have quite oily under eyes, that is just going to cause a lot of melia underneath the eyes. And once you have melia, it's difficult to get rid of it. So I definitely would not recommend this to absolutely everybody. Also, if you have normal to oily skin, wouldn't recommend this all over the skin. The only time I ever use Vaseline on the skin is if I have a very irritated patch of skin where I've over-exfoliated for some reason, and that skin needs to be protected so that it can heal throughout the night when everything is regenerating. And that way I would put my normal skincare on my skin and then seal it in with a little bit of Vaseline just over that affected area, and it will heal a lot quicker because it will be protected. However, all over the skin, unless you have seriously dry skin, I wouldn't recommend it. So that is it for this video. I am not saying that some of the products that I wouldn't recommend aren't great for some. I'm just saying that I would never recommend these to the masses, and some of them I wouldn't recommend to anybody. So I really hope you found this video helpful. Do let me know what you've thought about it in the comments section below. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.